so excited now. We're not where we are without each other. We're not where we are without the leadership, without baseball operations, without the players, without the city, without the community, without the fans, without the front office, the back office, without the reporters and the press and the media. We need each other. And that's what Jose and I together have built a life on understanding that it is together. And when we are all in, you all heard the song as we walked in, we are all in. It's not.
We are all in. Hi, everybody. Welcome to Marty Time TV in the Section 1904 podcast. I am Marty Caswell, not in my kitchen. That is Darren Smith in his kitchen. We are brought to you by the all-new Hamul Casino Resort, the Players Place. Darren, I am still recovering from that 48-minute press conference. How are you today?
Not actually in the kitchen, in my upstairs office. So I have returned from the sanctuary of air conditioning where I was yesterday for Friar Territory, and I'm now back to sweating without air conditioning. That ceiling fan that you might be able to see over my right shoulder is really not doing much of anything other than just moving the hot air around. But I'm doing good. I'm doing good. I think it was a good day. All in for the San Diego Padres. I watched this press conference as I was on the coaster, making my way from, where was I? Carlsbad down to Old Town. So I did watch it on my phone, and certainly it was energetic. It was exciting as the new owners of the San Diego Padres were officially introduced, Kwanza Jones and Jose E. Feliciano. I'm glad that he mentioned why it is that he wants Jose E. Feliciano, so that he does not get confused with the singer, Jose Feliciano. It's like, yeah, okay, that actually makes a ton of sense when he explained that. But Marty, I thought there were two things yesterday. You and I talked a little bit about the press conference on Friar Territory. If people missed it, they can go find it on YouTube or wherever it is that you get your podcast. I thought there were two things that I would have said were virtual locks for Monday.
Okay.
Number one was we would wake up and there'd be like a 3,000-word story written by Kevin Acee with some exclusive access to the new owners. How
did you know? How did you guess this? This is amazing.
Because this is how this works around here.
Got it.
And the second one is that, seriously, like Kwanza Jones would have everybody eating out of the palm of her hands. Yeah. And she did. And she absolutely did. And nothing against Jose E. Feliciano, but she was the star of the show. And she really, really was. And I think most people that tuned in really felt good. Obviously you can feel as good as you can feel from a press conference, right? Let's also understand that, these things are oftentimes, who knows if they're indicative of what to expect in the future. But as far as just evaluating it based on a press conference, Marty, I thought she did great. I thought they both did great.
Yep.
And I thought they made a really, really great first impression, at least on me. And I don't think I'm alone on that.
I would completely agree. That was quite the energetic press conference. Darren, I wish you were there because you ask a lot of great questions. Was there any line of questioning that stood out to you? Were there any things unanswered that you would like to ask?
I think there was probably a lot of things that were probably not asked today.
Okay.
And I don't want to be, I don't want to sit here and be or sound judgmental. Because, I could tell inside of the room, it was mostly a celebratory atmosphere.
Yes, a lot of city officials. The mayor was there. Scott Peters was there. There were a lot of dignitaries in the house.
Standing up and saying, hey, can I have the microphone so I can ask a question about Mark Walter is probably something that crossed people's minds. Okay. And there are thought maybe this doesn't feel like the right environment. The only issue with that, Marty, is, nobody knows when there's going to be another one of these press conferences, right? So was this the only chance that people are going to get to ask Jose E. Feliciano about his business partner, Mark Walter, his business partners, Mark Walter and Todd Bowley with the Dodgers? Was this the only time that people are going to get a chance to ask that? Do we expect this to happen again? Do we expect another? I can't answer that. Like I said, I really, really don't want to be the guy that sits here and just counts or casts judgment over things that were not asked because I wasn't in the room. And as I said, I've been in enough of these situations where I'm guessing that the mood overall was positive, upbeat, and certainly I think that certainly jumped off my iPhone as I was watching this press conference. So but I thought all in all they did really, really well. I thought they said a lot of things that made a lot of sense to a lot of people, and I thought they looked great. I think also, Marty, one of the things that I was thinking here, sometimes we forget, like, these are human beings, and like sometimes we just get wrapped up in people's titles, right? Like, oh, they're owners or they're billionaires or they're private equity. People think about, well, they're, the players or the coaches or media, right? People just sort of like slap these labels on and it's sort of this one size fits all thing. But, I really did. I thought that they really showed some personality.
Yes.
I think that she is a really, really positive person. She talked about the winning. And I like being around people like that. One of the many reasons why I like head coach Mikey Vadas from SDFC is that he is a really interesting, positive person. I like being around people. This kind of goes against the grain in Major League Baseball, where everybody's sort of grumpy and negative,
stodgy.
And like I just thought that they were really, they allowed
themselves
to be themselves today. And
look at that scene right there.
Point.
Like, look at that scene there. And I know, like, I don't know how many different ownership groups I've seen come to Petco Park, right? Just maybe because it's fresh and it's new, but it was quite something. You're watching that footage of them right there, just taking like a video selfie, the way they celebrated out in the fields. Like, I wasn't sure what to expect. I know we spoke to, I'm so sorry, your guest from The Athletic, the Chelsea correspondent.
Liam Toomey?
Right? Yeah, Liam Toomey, right. And I wasn't sure, like, would they reveal? I had no idea what sort of personality they were going to reveal. But just based on what they said, again, what they said, we'll see how things unfold. That they plan to be a lot more visible, I think, in San Diego as Padres owners than they are in Chelsea, where he seems to be more of a great unknown. And maybe it's because it is a family effort. Like these two are co-owners; they're equal in their ownership of the Padres, but they not hands-on like they're going to be like Peter Seidler was with flying in Aaron Judge or lining up, Xander Bogaerts to come in. I don't think it's going to be like that, but I think we'll see more of them than I was initially expecting. But that's just my early impressions.
Maybe. Yeah. I mean, and I guess as somebody who's probably spent more time talking about Chelsea than anybody else around here, I actually sent a clip to Liam Toomey from The Athletic because, I thought he would be interested, as he said, like these people don't have, they do not, there is no very public persona for them. And you sort of look at, even before we heard him speak today, and I don't know that I've ever heard her speak, but I've heard him speak. As mentioned, I see some of these finance seminars. I watch like 5 minutes and my eyes glaze over. So, they don't have a real public persona. And somebody the other day was like, well, why does that matter? And well, maybe it doesn't, whether they do or don't. But I think, Marty, just even, like they have style, right? Like they have personality. Like you know what I mean? Like there's a real personality with their style. And maybe they have stylists, who knows? But it didn't seem to match, right? Like you're saying, like, how could these people not have any public persona?
Right.
Look at them. Like
they
look cool. Like they're dressed well. They are young. They are fun. They are happy. So like it didn't make any sense that in a city like London they just didn't have any public persona.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
They're very engaging.
I thought the question that Dennis asked, which probably came as close as any question to, not to, I don't want to say hard hitting, but to maybe not be in alignment with the celebratory nature of every other question, right? Which is sort of like, hey, everybody, welcome to San Diego. How amazing is this? But I did think he gave a really interesting answer about Chelsea, to your point. And what he said was, what Jose said specifically was like, it's different because this is our money. And I plan to own this thing a lot longer than we probably will own Chelsea. And I was thinking, if I was a Chelsea fan, I probably wouldn't love that because it's sort of like, well, we're just there to make a couple of bucks and we're going to move on from that thing the second we deem it at its optimal opportunity for us to cash in on it. And I'm thinking, like, God, if I'm a Chelsea supporter, I'm like, what the fuck? But I'm not a Chelsea supporter, and I don't care about Chelsea. I don't care about them. I don't care about their fans. But I do care about the Padre fans. And I thought they handled that question, as somebody who had my ears open for that, because I've been rambling on about that thing more than anybody. I thought he handled it really well. And I thought his answer made a lot of sense. And I was glad that Dennis asked the question. And I was glad that they answered it the way that they answered it.
Yes, I'd agree. All right. This is from Joe. I bet he grew up a Dodgers fan. Actually, I asked him that question after when the scrum was done. And he actually said, no, he grew up a Yankees fan. So one of his favorite players was, I was expecting Dodgers also, but one of his favorite players was Bernie Wilson.
Bernie Williams. Bernie Williams.
I'm sorry.
Bernie Wilson is the cranky AP reporter.
Did I say Bernie Wilson? I'm sorry. Yeah. Bernie Williams.
Yeah, well, we have something in common. That was one of my favorite players growing up.
And then he was also a huge Carlos Beltran fan. Of course, being from Puerto Rico, and so that makes a lot of sense. So I was kind of expecting that. So we'll see. Here, I'm going to give you just one clip that I pulled, and I think it's AJ Caswell asking about how they evaluate this team. Just their impressions of this team.
So first of all, I would just mention that we have already experienced kind of in the ownership of teams in some pretty significant leagues around the world. So we're not rookies from that perspective. We understand that. I think our first job is to learn a lot about the league, about the Padres, about the people in the organization, and I should say to learn and listen. And then over time, I think we'll formulate, kind of obviously strong opinions about some things, and we'll defer to the experts on others. I think, like any owner in any business, you must at some point, hopefully early on, establish clear direction, clear goals. And then when we're deviating from that direction or goals, and at times life happens, you have to do that. We'll chime in. We'll provide additional direction and objectives. There'll be some decisions that will be intimately involved in the nitty-gritty, and others that perhaps will delegate or be a little bit kind of less intimately involved. But at the end of the day, kind of our job is to be good stewards of this team, for this city, and for the Baja communities, and to do that with that long-term perspective that owners, multi-generational owners, need to have.
Okay, so he said there are going to be some decisions where they're going to be intimately involved in. Now, I wish I had asked later on, like, what sort of decisions? Is it going to be on the baseball side? Is it the business side? Is it the uniforms? Because they love the City Connects. They made it very clear they love the City Connects and the diversity that it indicates. What did you think of that answer, Darren? Because I was wondering, like, you and I discussed this on Fire Territory, like, how hands-on are they planning to be on the baseball side and on the business side? So right now, like Kwanza said, they're going to.
I don't really think they know the answer to that.
Okay.
Right? I mean, it's sort of what they said. It's like, we don't really know the answer. So, we're going to see how things work around here for a little while. I thought they spoke very, very fluent Padres. Right? Seriously, like they were saying things about the Padres that you and I would say, people that are watching would say, people that follow the Padres, they would say that sort of stuff. I just thought the way they spoke about the Padres, there wasn't, everything they said was, sometimes people, you could misstep, you could say something. They've sounded like they've been fans of this team for a really, really long time. So I don't know, Marty. I think they even admitted they don't really know what level of involvement they're going to have. It certainly sounds like they are going to delegate. Sounds like they are going to trust people to do the jobs that they have been hired to do. Mm-hmm. I would interpret that as they will not be as involved as Peter Seidler, but Peter was somebody who was involved in everything and wanted to be involved in almost everything and wanted the Padres. And his phrase that was used around the building often was, we want to be best in show in everything, baseball operations, business, ballpark, extracurricular, down to what kind of cameras his staff needed. Did they need the camera that was the most expensive one? Probably not. But Peter wanted to pay for the most expensive stuff because he wanted the Padres to be best in show. So, I think that what they say about coming in, taking a wait and see approach, I think it was Kwanza who said something to the effect of, we're not here to just start barking out orders and telling everybody how things should be done. And I think that that's a smart approach. I also would suggest again, Marty, that's what Peter Seidler did. So, as
when she said the listening tour, she said she wanted to go on a listening tour and learn about everything, whether it's going to be baseball, San Diego, culture, where to live. I did suggest PB after the fact, after the press conference.
I was kind of disappointed I didn't mention anything south of the 8, but whatever. just life down here, Marty, just life down here. But I also think that they, when they spoke about representing not only the city and the county, but also the region.
Yes.
Right. As somebody who does live where I live, because, well, A, it was an opportunity to buy a house that I couldn't buy in another part of the county. But B, because I did want to get closer to Mexico, because I'm somebody who came here and said, I love this binational region. I want to be closer to the border. And, that's why I live where I live. That's a huge part of it. And I think they really spoke well of the entire region, which, sometimes it's a very subtle thing. For instance, like the Little League World Series, the team from Bonita got bounced the other day and you're like, oh, okay, well, that's too bad. Well, there's this other team from Tijuana, by the way, that's still playing. We could talk about both teams here. Like we do live in this really, really amazing region. Now, if you live in North County, I get it. I was just in Carlsbad. You feel like you're a billion miles away. That's just like a long drive. But, we are all connected here. And I think that they really embraced that. And I really did appreciate their commentary as such. I thought that was really, really spot on. And again, I'm sure I'm not alone in noticing some of the things they said about Baja and some of the stuff that they said about how diverse the community is. I do appreciate that because let's face it. We are talking about a group of owners in sports that aren't very diverse. And now you do have the diversity of ownership represented by Kwanza Jones and Jose Feliciano. So that's really good. I think, people will be drawn to that. I know somebody, Marty, this person, not going to mention anybody's name. I know people that want to come work for the Padres, just because, Latinos who work in other places are like, I would love to get back there. This is a really, really big deal for a lot of people. It's a big deal for every Padre fan, but it's certainly a big deal if you are Latino, if you are Mexican American, so like they seem to really understand that and embrace that. And I think when you look around, and you see how most owners look in sports, it ain't this. And I think that's kind of a cool thing. I think that's kind of a cool thing. Now, again, does this guarantee that they're going to be great owners? It does not. Of course it does not. But again, we're judging this based on a 40 minute press conference. So
who asked the question about payroll?
On
who asked the question about payroll? I think Jake?
I think it was Jake.
I think it was Jake Ariani from CBS asked about how they're going to be spending, right? Did they give a direct answer or did?
Not really.
I didn't think so. I didn't think
Jose. I think, they're going to be like prudent and, a lot of this stuff, this is sort of the stuff that they have said at Chelsea. We want to be responsible and, sustainable and, blah, 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 blah. And you never really know exactly what any of that stuff means, but what happened.
I'm sorry. I'm just looking at a bunch of the questions on the chat. Am I the only one who thought it was strange that they would go back and forth on a single question? No, because they're equal. They are co-owners.
They're married.
They're married.
That is a married couple up there before everybody.
Right.
And that again, it is not like anything that we have ever seen. They are a married couple, and you can tell. They definitely
had their son.
These are not birds of a feather. This is almost a little bit of opposites attract. The yin to the yang, like they balance each other out, seemingly over the 40 minutes that we had some exposure to them, right? Because he's a little bit more reserved and a little bit more measured, and she's just like, we're gonna win. We're gonna win everything. And she's definitely.
I thought she was gonna start singing at today's presser. And did the Padres stream show how they walked in?
They did not. I've since seen it.
Okay, you have seen it. So they were playing this music, and that she actually helped put together, and it was based on a play by Fernando Tatis.
Well, some of it was. There was one specific line that was, but I think there was going to be their walk-in song was. Listen, I hope to be in a place one day, Marty, where I don't give a fuck, and I just say, I'm going to play it, and I'm happy with it, and I am who I am. And you could accept it, or you don't have to accept it. You could like it, you don't have to like it, but this is who I am. And I hope I can get to that place where I can live through life with 0 Fs to give, because that's sort of the vibe that they projected, even by walking into the room today, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Huge
right?
vibes.
Again, I've seen a lot of people making fun of the song and whatever.
No, it was really cool. It was cool.
Was it? I did.
I liked
it's
it.
not for me. I'm not going to go download it, but I agree. I appreciate that they just have 0 fucks to give. They're like, we're just going to come out and this is who we are. And welcome to San Diego. Here we are. Like, this is what we're all about. So I liked it.
Okay, a couple questions on here. Marty, do you think they will fire AJ Preller? I would be shocked if that were to happen right now, especially if this team continues trending the way that we think. I had a conversation with AJ Preller that you can find later on this channel.
Yeah, what was that about? What were you badgering him for?
Okay. Here it is. I was badgering him for something different. I did talk to him about, who are you reporting to? Because he mentioned that before he was reporting to John Seidler. I asked him about, consulting them before they added money to add Casey Mize and Robbie Ray. He says, yes, from now on, he reports directly to Kwanza Jones and to Jose. Okay, this is what here's a side question I asked AJ Preller. Hang on. Under oath right now, will you promise to come on Friar Territory with me and Darren Smith?
Yeah, I don't know about the promise. I'm excited about Friar Territory, but it may not be this week. We'll see. We got a few things we got to take care of in the meantime.
Next week.
Yeah, we'll be at some point in time. I'm looking forward to talking to Darren again and even you at times too. So I'm looking forward to it. So.
What is this shirt? I mean, who picked these clothes out for Preller? It looks like he randomly just picked up 3 articles of clothing on his way out the door. I mean,
Probably.
His pants and the jacket didn't match the shirt. Is there a collar on that shirt?
He was getting ready to go ahead and change to his basketball shorts right after he was done. I think.
Put that picture up again. What kind of collar is this?
Hang on. Let me see. I don't know.
Is there a collar?
Kind of. Not
or is
really.
Is that like a tuxedo shirt?
Why don't you text him and ask him what were you wearing today and who dressed you? Who designed you?
I mean, I'm colorblind, so I'm probably wrong. He probably matched, and I'm not.
It's a plum colored jacket and.
But listen, you had some real style up there today. These are stylish people, and Grupner's up there at the desk. He's got some style to him as well.
He has the immaculate hair.
Yeah, so maybe this is why Preller didn't get a seat at the dais.
I was thinking about that. I was thinking about that too. I mean. He was seated in the front row next to Craig Stammen, and then Ruben Yabla, and then Trevor and Tracy Hoffman were there. All of them, they were there in the front row. The players were not the current players were not in there. It was a full house. They had like 80 RSVPs from
that was the air conditioning in there.
And officials. It was really, really good. But then
was it good? Good. That's
it was good. But then they addressed the team after the clubhouse closed. So we didn't really talk to the players about the response, but I'm sure I'm gonna guess they went over rather well. If they have that kind of energy for a press conference
since 1982,
he has no.
I mean, I don't know, man. Like, listen, we'll see what happens. I suspect he's probably never going to come on Friar Territory, but thank you for asking the question.
No, he will. He will because he wants to talk to you.
Yeah.
Tell him he can talk about the New York Giants or the Knicks.
Well, he's not a Knicks fan.
He's not?
No.
Never mind.
Bulls fan.
St. John's. He's a St. John's fan. That's right.
Well, he is a St. John's.
Johnny's.
That is true.
All right.
We can definitely talk about some St. John's, I suppose. But yeah, I mean, listen. As I said, I appreciate, especially Kwanza is just seems to have a this never-ending optimism. Some of the stuff that she says, I think was sort of. I jotted one down. Pennies make millions, and pennies make billions. They seem to have, listen, I'm as cynical as anybody about private equity. I am, and I understand this isn't, but whatever. But I thought they did really well. So, I don't know how else to say it. The proof will be in how they perform as owners, but how they performed during the press conference and how they looked and how they presented, I thought was really, really good.
Yeah, I'm curious to see what kind of people they're going to.
Although he jinxed it. I mean, totally jinxed it. He's like, we haven't lost a game since we've been here. Totally jinxed it. You never talk about a perfect game, Jose. Come on.
That's
we know
right.
that. We know
Will
that
they be at the game today? I don't know, Pop Rocks. I mean, if they were here, I would have them throughout the first pitch, right? He was practicing earlier, so maybe they will. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, you're back to playing a National League team tonight. Not one of these patsy American League teams that are just terrible.
Right.
The Padres, by the way, are 27-15 in interleague play.
That's good.
That is good.
That's very good.
You want to do the math on what their record is against the National League?
Don't make me. I'm going to go. It's going to be under 500.
Yeah.
That's my basic math.
Right. 27-15. They're 76. They're 71-60. So it's 45. 50. What is the math on that? I don't know, but it's not. I mean, whatever. They do well in interleague play, I think, is the point. That's the point. But yeah, I mean, there were some, again, there's always a million questions that you would like to have asked afterwards. I thought it was odd today that AC and his.
Real quick, if AC gets an exclusive and he gets 90 minutes, shouldn't he be banned from asking any questions at the press conference? You should be banned from the press conference period. Yeah. If you get exclusive access.
It's not how it works around here. Kevin, you know how Kevin rolls. But when Kevin was, Kevin has this 90-minute exclusive with them, which again was the most predictable part of the whole event. 44 and 45 versus the NL. Is that right? Does that math add up? Because I thought it was like 50 and 45. Anyway, thank you for doing the math.
Thank you,
I think that's 18. Right. Chi-Hawk, 18.
Chi-Hawk.
But yeah, he has 90 minutes, and he was talking about the additions at the trade deadline. And he says multiple sources said that Feliciano and Kwanza Jones were involved. I'm like, well, you fucking had access to them. Why don't you just ask them? You know what I mean? Like, why did you do the whole multiple sources thing? Just ask them if they were involved. But I don't know. Again, it's always easy to do this sort of after the fact.
I asked AJ. He said yes, they were.
Yeah. Well, why was that so hard, Kevin? Why do we have to do the whole multiple sources thing? What are you doing? Just you have 90 minutes here. Ask the question. I don't know. Kevin Delson just bugs me. I just, the only major league team. I mean, give me a break. Sequan is part of this ownership group. It's insulting to the people of Sequan if you're just going to ramble on about this being the only major league team. But anyway, you know where I'm coming from on that.
I do. Here's a question from SD fan. Did Machado look bad by not being at the presser today? No. None of the players were there because none of the players. That was an absolute packed room. There would be nowhere there.
Why do you think that is though?
Because maybe not be distraction, and they addressed the team right afterwards.
But the coach went. The manager went.
The pitching coach, Ruben Niebla and Craig Stanbet. None of the players were there. None of the active players.
The manager and the associate manager.
Yes, and you're right. Associate manager.
Right. I don't think he was there in his capacity as the pitching coach. But yeah, I don't have any real thoughts on that. To the point, if they were going to meet afterwards, you could probably, if you were there, you could probably just watch it in the press conference, or watch it in the clubhouse, streamed it on YouTube, like I did, on a phone, on a train. But I guess they probably decided as a group they weren't going to go. I don't know.
Probably.
Maybe they're just like,
Like we'll meet them for the first time, not in that setting. We're going to meet them.
I want to be around all these media.
No. All of us taking pictures.
Who even knows? Like, do they even have the air conditioning on up there?
It's interesting. Fire AJ Pella. Do any of the players feel entitled to the money that was earned as a result of the organization skyrocketing in value? That's actually a very, very good question. Now, I don't think entitled to the money, but I think Alvin Gonzalez of ESPN was kind of asking Manny about the impact that, think about where the organization was when Peter Seidler bought them and Ron Fowler for $800 million and what's happened, the investment he made, and look what it's turned into. Do you want to go ahead and hear the answer? I pulled that clip if you want it.
I'm sorry, what? Yeah, I was sort of. What was the question? Yes, I do.
Okay. All right, hang tight. Here we go.
What does that say to you about maybe just what's possible industry-wide? If owners invest in franchise the way that Peter did?
Yeah, I mean, listen, it's when I came here, we were bottom tier of payroll of. No one wanted to come to San Diego. No one wanted to play here. We're in the bottom tier of our organization. So, obviously he invested in the team, myself, Hosmer, obviously Toddy, getting Darvish, Joe, guys who kind of started. He invested in the team, and look what we did. Look what this organization has become, and it's continued to be. So. Yeah, definitely. I mean, if you invest, you're going to get fans out there. I mean, we've been top 3, top 2 in attendance for the last 4 or 5 years. People want to come out here and see players. So, when you invest in your team, you invest in your organization, not only do you get good players to come and want to play and put yourselves in good situations to go out there and win a championship, but you also get a lot of fans to come out here and support. It's a two-way street. So, yeah, man. I mean, it was impressive to see that number where It's been what, 20, not even 20, 15 years? 15 years since when did Peter buy it? 2012, right?
12,
They bought it in 2012, so it's 12 years, 13 years, you know, and they bought it for 800 and it sold for triple that, you know. I mean, that's a pretty. I mean, in my business, I wish I could do that investment. You know, I mean, that's a great return. That's a great return. So, I mean, it's just, again, it tells you how much, not just the city is, but how much this game has grown, big time. Even since when I came up in 2012 actually, and the game has changed drastically, in attendance-wise, baseball-wise, analytical-wise. I mean, in every aspect of it. I mean, the game is growing, and it's gonna continue to grow, just like how the world is.
All right.
And I'm sure
All right. Manny's just like us.
sure
You ask him to do math on the spot.
I feel like what he did can get
starts counting on his fingers and his toes.
Oh, I mean, again,
By the way, you still hear him.
Sorry. It's in your head. It's just in
my head. I just randomly hear Manny Machado. Yeah, I mean, listen, I think it's been, you know, a lot of people, there's always this ongoing conversation about, well, like, who is most responsible for, you know, the Padres and how much credit does Grupner get and how much credit does Preller get? And the answer is they all get credit. You know, they all get credit. But it sort of started with this concept that Peter Seidler had, that he was going to build this thing, and he was going to, in theory, have these two separations between the business and the baseball side, where you go over there, you go over there. Now there's a lot more crossover. Obviously, Eric Grupner has grown in power and influence inside of the organization, which is why he's at the dais today.
Share.
Yeah,
he has an ownership share.
He's made a lot of money. He's done very well for himself, and I think he gets a lot of credit for some of what he did. I did read Dennis's piece about how the Padres became the team that sold for the most money ever in baseball. And listen, they did some things here to I know they said that they were never trying to drive, to increase the value of the franchise, but of course they were. It's not stupid people. But I think there's a lot of credit to go around. I do. So I think Grupner deserves credit. I think Preller deserves credit. I think players deserve credit. But listen, they're not going to make any more money. Was that the question? Are the players going to make any more money? No, probably not. Probably not. I don't think that's the way it works, unless they were included in some of that bonus structure. We keep reading about these bonuses that have been given out to all the employees. Maybe the Padres players got some bonuses as well. I don't know. But no, they get paid, and Manny doesn't need any extra money. I mean,
he's good.
I get $1 billion here.
I think he's good.
Yeah,
I don't think Hosmer's getting any extra dollars for being like the first signing.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yep. Okay. I'm sorry. Are you suggesting that is the suggestion here that Manny Machado had shares? That's against Major League Baseball rules. Can't be a shareholder. Can't have that. I think that's what the suggestion is. If I'm not reading this right, at Fire AJ Preller. So he had no shares at all when they were sold.
Or maybe that was from Ron Fowler. No, that can't be. I'm sorry.
Ron got bought out in 2021.
I need to go to, okay.
Now, again, you never know. I mean, somebody might still own 1%. Does anybody know which Seidlers are actually sticking around?
I think
because some of the Seidlers are going to stick around in some level of ownership, but they're going to just have small percentages.
Yeah, they weren't there. Like I was, part of me thought that maybe John was going to be there today, John Seidler, right, who was the controlling chairman, but he was not there. Nobody from that family was there. Tom, I think, who worked in community affairs, has retired. So, they have a share, but I'd be very surprised if we see them around at all moving forward. We'll see.
Yeah, I mean, never saw them before, and probably won't see much of them afterwards.
Yep.
So does Fowler have any shares? He might have. They don't have to really disclose this stuff. But what was mentioned today that stood out, that Alfredo Harpelu is increased his ownership share. And I know that Sequan, that tribal members were there today.
Yes.
Which is, interesting, because now Sequan is, they are part owners of both the Padres and San Diego Football Club.
Ah.
Yeah. So maybe we'll finally have some symbiotic relation between the two. Maybe it will be
finally?
Okay for Eric
Has that been missing?
To acknowledge them every once in a while.
Has that been missing?
Yes, it has been, but whatever. Yeah, I think it actually is. Like Saquon sort of like in on both sides here. Like,
make it happen, Darren.
You can. There's a phrase, Marty. You can lift while you can lift while you rise. As the Padres rise, they can certainly do, in my opinion, a little bit more to lift some of the other teams around town. That's all. Shout out Alfredo Arpelu. Absolutely. By the way, his Diablos Rojos I think they're in the playoffs. Aren't they in line to play Tijuana? I think they are. So, yeah.
By the way, real quick, is that who Young Hervis Solarte plays for? I just ran into Solarte. I think it was on Friday.
I think he's retired.
No, he's still playing baseball. He says he's playing baseball in Mexico, but I forgot what team he was. Yeah, I forgot what team he was playing for. I think he wants to play. I think this is his final season. He wants to play till he's 40. He was there with his daughters, his beautiful daughters, and then I think he wants to.
Oh, he plays for Querétaro. Okay.
Okay.
I did not know that. I don't think that's who Tijuana was playing in the playoffs, though. I think that Solarte just has connections still around town. I know he's been around town because I know people that got to know him pretty well when he was a player, and you know. You get random pictures of Jan Hervis Solarte from time to time. Yeah. But, yeah. So, yeah, I know that that photo did very well.
Yes.
Very popular player.
Very popular. All right, D. Smith, I have to get going shortly. For those of you who are watching, let's see. There's a bunch of stuff. Mason Miller had some good comments. Manny Machado had it'll be all available. AJ, I have my full interview with AJ Preller coming up shortly as well. So make sure you just.
Yeah. How's that, Marty?
Keep it here. It's good. It's good.
Yeah. Again, and yeah. Were you able to find the one clip that I was looking for? No. Okay.
I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I had to find out. I will post it later on. We can talk about it maybe on our next Fire Territory.
Like my question would have been, the Chelsea stuff. Dennis kind of got in there. But yeah, I mean, it was a really good answer. It was a really thoughtful answer.
I did give Jose the Chelsea score.
I know. Where'd you get that idea?
As a nod to you, Darren. D. Smith.
What would you have done if they were losing? Because it was 3-2.
Would have told them. I would have said the same thing.
You would have said, "Hey, by the way,
your
loser going down at Fulham."
Yeah, your team's. You have a loser.
Yeah. What's up with your goalkeeper here? Why did you trade away? Why did you transfer away your only good goalkeeper?
Yeah.
They actually got a good manager there for the first time, I think, since this group as well. Yeah, they have a good manager. I like their manager. So, and I don't like Chelsea, but I do like that manager. What was my nickname from Three Punk Ales? I don't know. What was it?
Not sure.
Should I know the answer to this?
I'm not quite sure I understand the question. What was your nickname from Three Punk? Did they give you a nickname, a beer? I'm not too sure.
What was my nickname from Three Punk Ales?
Yeah.
By the way, no, Trevor Bauer, I thought he was still pitching in I thought he was still pitching for the Red Devils, no?
I'm not following his career, so I do not know.
Well, I'm just watching the Mexican League playoffs because I'm excited to get back down there and watch more Tijuana Toros.
Very nice. This is Ask Chat GPT, Darren.
The owner used to call it to me. The owner of Three Punk Ales, Esteban. I missed the beginning. How were the owners? Yeah, I thought they came across very well.
Yeah, I think they were great. Great energy.
Yeah,
so I think they said all the right things.
About the feud either, but
touched all the right notes. Should have asked that question.
Yeah, I mean, I also think that I really think, Marty, this is, there is this feud, right? Because these guys are all invested in the same English Premier League club.
But Jose's share is like 65% to their 18 and 12 respectively.
Clear Lake capitalist.
Yes.
Clear Lake capitalist. But, listen, if you were thinking about buying a Major League Baseball team and you have, sorry, the sun is reflecting on my neighbors.
Okay.
If you were thinking, though, about buying into a Major League Baseball team and you were business partners with two people who are owners of a baseball team, do you think maybe you would ask them for some thoughts about that? I mean, that's probably plausible, right? That Jose Feliciano probably asked Todd Bowley or Mark Walter for some advice about Major League Baseball. Now, what they might have talked about, I have no idea. But maybe it's such a cold war there that they didn't ask them, which I think would be odd. As we learned on the last episode, they sit in separate boxes. They sit in separate ownership suites. So the Clear Lake guys sit over here. The Bowley and Walter group sit over there. But Mark Walter is literally the most talked about sports figure in the United States, and he's a business partner of Jose Feliciano. I get it. It doesn't fit with the tone of the press conference, but
right.
I would like to have known, even just like, did you ask him for any advice about what it's like being a big league owner? Or
that would have been a great question. Next time, text it to me, and I'll take full credit for asking the question on your behalf.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't phrase the question as, did he give you any advice on how to run a multi-billion-dollar insurance fraud? But did
I wasn't going to ask that.
Did you ever ask about, the lockout, big league baseball, what it's like being an owner? These guys own the team in the city where you call home. And you are business partners with them. So I feel like maybe that was a missed opportunity, but maybe I'm wrong, Marty. Maybe at some point these guys will speak again. We'll see.
I hope so. I hope we see them a bit more of them. I'm not sure if they're even here right now, but hopefully they are.
Where were they gone?
I don't know. Someone texted they thought they had left. I'm like, why would they be gone their first day?
That's it.
All right.
They came in, they had a great press conference, and we'll never see them again.
Kwanza had her sisters. Some other family was here. They brought their adorable little son with them. So, yeah, they've got to still be here. Couple quick notes. Craig Stammen did say that Nick Pivetta is going to throw a rehab start tomorrow for Lake Elsinore. And then Joe Musgrove will pitch for El Paso on Thursday. So maybe one more for Joe. So we'll see. We'll see. All right, D. Smith. I have to go eat. I'm starving, man. I'm really hungry. You have a flight tomorrow,
7
right?
a.m.
So, all right. Have a good flight. You and I will catch up.
Next, whatever it is, Friar Territory or Marty Time TV Section 1904. I'll be back at my mother's kitchen table.
Nice. Back at the kitchen table. All right. Actually, I'll be at my mom's kitchen table tomorrow when I think AJ Caswell joins me here. So maybe we should rename this show from Marty Time TV and the Section 1904 podcast to like Mom's Kitchen or the kitchen table or something. From Johnny, why does Marty have neighbors making banging noise everywhere she goes? All right, just so you know, Johnny, I'm actually in the Padres press box. I promise you I do not have a picture of Trevor Hoffman, in my kitchen. I'm in the lunch
Who's
room.
around you right now? Describe it. Well, what sort of media people can you say?
Your friend Kevin Acey. Should I yell at him for asking long questions?
Wow, Kevin, what a shock. You got the inside scoop there. Guy always cozies up to the most powerful people he can.
Oh, God. I'm telling you, if you get an exclusive, you are banned from asking questions at the press conference. That's how it should be. So make sure.
I'm not going to mention who it was, but one of our media colleagues referred to that as source greasing. I never heard that term before. I guess that is big J journalism terminology. Source greasing. Yeah. Her team, maybe.
Good.
I mean, good or bad, I don't know, man. But again, I would love to be her neighbor.
Yes.
I would like to spend time with her. I think that she's got fantastic energy. Now, maybe they go in another room and they're like, oh, God, thank God that shit's over. But I don't think so. I think it, what do I know? But just my impression of it.
Can you believe nobody asked us about Mark Walter? Do you think they had an answer?
I know. She's like, what a bunch of losers we have in this local media here.
But do you think they probably had like a stock answer, a stock generic answer prepared just in case that question came?
So. Yeah.
Why didn't you text me?
Yes.
I blame you.
Marty. I think the only time that they actually, the only time that either one of them, wasn't brief, like they didn't have any notes, you know what I mean? Like, and maybe I just couldn't see them, but they just spoke, like they just went for it. And I thought it was great. Yeah. But the only time I think that Jose Feliciano chose his words was when he was asked a little bit about Chelsea and ownership and comparing the two and contrasting the two, etc. So, yeah.
All right, D. Smith, I gotta go. Gotta go.
What are you gonna eat? What's in the press box tonight?
It's just something like I don't really know. Chicken, some sort of chicken.
Chicken,
some sort of chicken. Lentil soup.
Yeah, got to pay for that.
85 degrees in the field.
Why don't you go to Borden Brew or something?
Amazing.
Go somewhere else.
No, I don't have time. I have to edit press conferences.
What are you gonna do?
I've got to post the AJ Preller interview.
People can wait.
No, they can't. I can't wait. I can't enjoy a meal until I finish all my press conference stuff. That's how it is. Yeah.
Well.
All right, Darren.
Good first day.
Yes, great first day. Before we wrap up here, guys, do not forget, and we appreciate your support immensely. Do not forget to subscribe to the Section 1904 podcast. Darren does a great job. He's going to do a complete write-up of the presser and all the questions that we should have asked but did not because we're all dopey.
So my top 10 questions that were not asked at the press conference
You
today.
should do that. Your top 10
questions. I was hanging out at a pool at Aviara.
Yes, there you go.
By the way, speaking of a pool,
Yeah.
can I just say, because this joint venture is brought to you by the all-new Hamul Casino Resort.
Yes, it is,
You can get day passes to the pool at the all-new Hamul Casino Resort.
And I'm guessing it's 21 up only, which is the only type of pool that you go to.
Yes. I hope that's the case. I went to the adult pool today at Aviara. My wife had a work function. I was like, yes, I will go. Air conditioning, I'm in. Thank you. But yeah, you can go get a go get a day pass there. You go jump in the pool on the roof at Hamul Casino Resort. Then maybe go to the spa. Which why aren't we doing this?
I don't know.
Why aren't we doing this?
Rio is clearly not a right thing.
I don't know.
All right, everybody. I gotta go.
All right. Peace out, guys. All right, you guys. Thank you so much for watching Marty Time TV in the Section 1904 podcast. That is Darren Smith. I am Marty Caswell. We are brought to you by the all-new Hamul Casino Resort, the Players Place. Have a great night. We will talk to you tomorrow.